Hello everyone, welcome back. This is a live recording of a 50-minute full body flexibility practice. I use 2 blocks today. If you want to grab something a little softer to lay on, that is fine too. I have my lovely assistants with me as well. Find some space to move though, and let's get started. So just deciding what you would like to do with your leg. And with your arms. And you can let your eyes close if you haven't already. And maybe just getting used to whatever you decided to lay on today. But take a slower breath in and let it go. You soften your shoulder and your chest. And maybe to move and adjust a little bit. Maybe you can find some stillness right from the beginning of our practice. Feel your belly move with your breath. Maybe you can even hear the sound of it through listening and maybe breathing just a touch deeper. We are going to stay here a little bit longer. The option to stay exactly as you are. But if you are laying on something that allows you to turn your chin over towards your left shoulder, we're going to do that. And if you want to lay flat on your back, you can take out whatever you're laying on as well. I've got my block under my head, so if you do too, just go really, really slow. Turning the chin over towards your left shoulder. Maybe you're resting on your ear. And then let your shoulders, your arms be nice and heavy. Find your breath again. You have your chin over to the left side. Just use an inhale, maybe even your hands, just to help you slowly turn your head back. Just pausing at center for a moment. And then you can turn your chin over towards your right shoulder. Maybe lift the head up a little. And then letting the shoulders get heavy again. Your arms too. Even your legs. Then inhale to slowly roll your head back up. Maybe use your hands to help too. It's coming back through center and then maybe pause. Feel your belly move again. You can start to plant your feet when you're ready. Maybe bringing your arms a little closer to your side. And then if you are still laying on top of something, you can sit up to take it out. And we'll lay flat on our backs. I think this is the first time Bo's actually used one of those pillows as a pillow. But lay flat and maybe hug your knees to your chest. A sway side to side if you want to massage the back. Just check in with how you are feeling so far today. We are going to stay on our backs. We'll bring our feet to the ground for a moment. Now, just optional, we're going to be hugging one knee in at a time, moving our legs a little bit. If you do want to slide something underneath your hips, not something that's super high, just a little bit, you could add something, but you don't have to. You can stay flat on your back. But we'll start with our left knee coming towards the chest. And you might need to move whatever you slid underneath your hips a little bit so it's in a nice, comfortable spot. Hugging your left knee in. Now you can keep your right leg bent and the foot planted, or you can send that leg long. So if you have something under your hips, it's a little bit of a back bend. If you are flat on your back, that is good too. You might be feeling that left hip. Well, it's all just give that low back a gentle press down, whether it's into a pillow of some kind or just your mat. Now, holding on to that left knee, just going to let it tip out to the side. And you can hold it out to the side a little bit, or you can kind of sway. You can move the leg in and out, but moving from that hip joint. So let your low back stay connected to whatever it's touching. And maybe the left leg is moving a little bit, or it's just staying in one place. If you do have your leg out to the side, you can start to bring it back in and then let it go. Plant both of your feet on the ground. Maybe a little sway of your knees side to side. And then we'll bring our right knee in towards the chest. A little hug of that knee. And maybe sending your left leg long too. Notice if you feel your right hip here. Can you relax your legs a little bit too? And ever so gently press that low back down, just so it stays connected. You might let your right leg, knee, tip out to the side and hold it there. Or you might add that little sway. And just try to make it a slow and smooth sway. Keeping your low back connected to the ground so that movement comes from your hip joint. You do have your leg out to the side. Just start to guide it back in. And then slowly let it go. Bring both of your feet to the ground. And if you've got something underneath your hips, you can take it out, slide it to the side. Maybe give your knees, both of them, a hug to the chest, or leave your feet on the ground. But if you want to sway side to side, try to give that low back a little massage. And then you can decide if you're going to roll over or rock forwards, but let's come all the way up. All the way up onto our hands and knees. So set up your tabletop, spread your fingers wide. We're going to just draw some circles using our shoulders and moving them around our wrists. You could do a half circle or a full circle. And it can be a small movement or big, but just move slow. Just feeling the wrists a little bit and switching directions if you are doing something that requires you to even things out. And then just coming back through center. We're going to be sliding our right knee forwards. And you can either sit on that heel or you can pop that foot out in front of your left hip, but pigeon pose. You might lift your chest up a little bit more. Try to level out your hips. So either sitting on that right heel or bringing that foot out in front of that left hip. And maybe leaning forwards. You can rest on something if you want to, or just use the ground. Maybe you won't be leaning forward. Like feeling your right leg, the hip, the glutes. Maybe all the way down to your toe. Stay for another breath or two, or a little bit longer if you want to, but we're gonna meet in tabletop again. So taking your time and lifting yourself up and sliding that right leg back as best you can. And spreading your fingers wide again. And then we're going to make those same kind of either half circles or a full circle shape with the shoulders around the wrists. But maybe you can feel that right hip too. Maybe the left one as well. But just switching directions if you got to switch direction. Pressing the palms down a little, keeping the fingers touching the ground. And then coming back through center, and you can start to slide your left knee forwards. Maybe trying to sit on that heel. Maybe bringing the foot out in front of the right hip. But level yourself out as best you can. And maybe lift up through the chest a little bit more. And feel free to stay lifted through the chest, or you can be leaning forward. Feeling that left leg this time. But focus on your breath instead of your leg. Staying for just a few more breaths if you'd like. Maybe starting to move. Being in tabletop one more time. So once you get there, you could think about those shoulders moving. You could think about the hips going for a little bit of a sway side to side, but maybe it is a nice little wrist stretch too. And then we're going to come down onto our bellies, but just switch directions if you are making a full circle shape. But lower yourself onto your belly when you are ready to do so. Legs out long behind you. And start. Stack your palms, rest your forehead. Maybe give your hips a little sway side to side. And we're going to bring our left knee out to the sides. We'll set up our frog leg. Knee out to the side and foot. Trying to connect the inner leg, the inner thigh to the ground. You can either stay here in your half frog leg, just relaxing through the upper body. You can also bring your frog leg back in. If you want to tuck your left arm underneath your chest. So either the leg and the arm or one or the other. But still trying to relax your chest down, whether you tucked your arm under or not. You did tuck your arm under your chest. We're gonna take it out. And if you are in the frog leg, we're gonna keep it there. And if you're not, maybe you'll bring it back. That left knee out to the side, the foot out to the side. Your knee might be somewhat in line with your hip. Maybe it scooches up a little bit higher. If you can keep the hip really close to the ground, the entire inner thigh close to the ground, and then you can just relax your upper body and notice how that left shoulder feels. If you're still in that frog leg, you can slowly, slowly slide it back in. Maybe all the way until your big toes touch. Let your heels fall out to the side. Just notice what you're feeling. And your right leg can start to make its way out to the side. Set up your frog leg, knee out, foot out, trying to level the hips, relax the upper body. And decide. You want to bring your leg back in to tuck your arm under your chest or skip the arm or do both. If you are adding your arm under your chest, let it be heavy on your arm. Try to let your head be heavy too. Use a pillow of some kind. But mostly focusing on your breath. You do have your arm under your chest. We can take it out. Move nice and slow, and then maybe you'll be bringing your frog leg back, or maybe it's still there. And notice what you feel throughout your shoulders, your arm. Let your belly or chest be heavy against the ground. Take another breath or two, and then you can slide your leg in. And maybe the big toes find one another again, and the heels kind of fall out to the side. But a moment just to check in with your shoulder and your hip. And we're going to be bringing our left arm out to the side. You can either do a nice straight arm, palm down, or you can do the cactus arm, bent elbow, palm facing down too. But before you roll over onto your left side, if at all, I want you to take your right foot and maybe cross it up and over the left one so the ankles are kind of crossed. Now you can start to tip over to your left side if you'd like, maybe pushing into the right hand a little bit to help tip you over since your ankles are crossed. And then if you did kind of cross those legs a little bit, you might keep them like that, or you might let your right foot slide further and further behind you, leaving that left foot, turning your hips more. Find that sweet spot for your chest, your left shoulder and arm. You did start with the ankles crossed and they're not still crossed. Slide that right foot back towards the left one. Try to cross the ankles a little bit. Or your right foot is on the bottom, maybe the left foot is on the top. And then you can tip back over onto your belly nice and slow. And then maybe your legs are still crossed. The ankle. But I just want you to stack your palms, just your forehead on top. Now, maybe you'll cross your ankles now, or maybe you'll just keep your feet side by side. But we're just going to try to lift the feet up, bringing the heels towards the glutes. So maybe the ankles are crossed. And then you can just float your feet, or you can reach back for your feet. Maybe you can get one foot. Maybe you can get both feet. Oh, always making a better door than a window when we're trying something new. You are holding onto a foot or two. Start to squeeze your glutes a little bit so you can let go of them. and slowly, slowly lower them back down to the ground. Your hands can come under the forehead again. You can uncross your ankles and maybe give your hips a little sway. Just reset. And then our right arm is going to be making its way out to the side. Straight arm or bent arm. Palm facing down. Maybe that left foot's going to lift and cross over top of the right. And then maybe you will tip over onto your right side. Push into that left hand a little bit if you're having trouble rolling with those ankles crossed. But the left foot might leave the right one. It might move away from you, behind you, to turn you a little bit more, to take you a little bit further, but just far enough where you can still relax. Your left foot, your top foot did leave the bottom one. Might slide back there, crossing those ankles again. Maybe your top foot's on the bottom, bottom foot's on the top. And then you can slowly tip back over onto your belly. And you can move your hands under your forehead and relax your shoulder. And if you have your ankles crossed or not, just start to float them up. Heels towards the glutes a little bent. Maybe you reach back for one foot, maybe the other, or maybe you just float those feet. You do have your feet lifted up. You're holding on to them. Start to squeeze a little bit so they don't slingshot away. And then gently place them back down on the ground and uncross them if they're crossed. Your hands can come back under your forehead and maybe take a gentle sway through your hips. We're gonna turn over and onto our backs. If you can just roll over, you can do that. If you gotta turn around, you can turn around. But lay it down again. Oh, once you're on your back, just bend the knees, plant the feet. Maybe taking the knees, the legs for a gentle sway side to side. Now we might bring our feet a little closer together. So we're going to try to cross our ankles again, but let's do the right one in front of the left. So feet planted and maybe the right foot can cross up and over top of the left. Now your feet can stay on the ground. You can stay here with the knees away from the chest. You can lift the feet, bringing the knees to the chest, and those ankles continue to be crossed. Maybe you are able to hold onto one foot or both, but just crossing the legs. It might look similar to how your legs are crossed when you are seated. Now you can stay here wherever you happen to be, or if you're holding on to the feet here, we want to keep them kind of snug towards the bottom of the glutes. As we let the knees leave the chest again, maybe the feet touch the ground again, and the knees keep going further and further from the chest as well, so that if you were to look above you, maybe your legs are crossed in the same kind of way as when you are seated. Maybe you don't get quite that far, somewhere in between, but relax your shoulders. Keep your head on the ground. Not working too hard at all. And before you move, we're just coming back to the feet being planted flat on the ground, but our ankles still cross. So maybe you can lift the legs, move the legs without touching them with your hands. Maybe you need to use them to help. But start to scooch the feet kind of back together, lift the knees up, and then you can uncross them. You can bring some space between your feet and your knees. You can take a sway of the legs side to side. Try to massage the low back a little bit. And then scooching the feet back together. And the left foot up and over the right one. And maybe this is where you stay. Maybe you lift the feet up, bringing the knees to the chest, crossing the ankles. Maybe you're holding onto your legs somewhere. Maybe it is the feet. It doesn't have to be, though. Crossing the legs, maybe take a little peek or just know by how it feels. Crossing the legs. Now, if you can keep those feet snug towards kind of the bottom of your glutes, as you let the knees move away from the chest, you can try to bring the feet back down and let the knees keep leaving the chest. Maybe to a place where you can let go of the legs or the feet, and the legs want to stay crossed. Wherever you happen to be, just take a few breaths. You are going to be coming back to just having the feet planted, but maybe the ankles still crossed. So wherever you are coming from, take your time, move your legs however you need to move them. Plant those feet, and then you can uncross them and bring some space between the knees, between the feet, so that you can sway side to side. And lightly press your low back down so it gets a nice little massage. You need to keep moving. Do anything else, whatever you need. And finding Shavasana when you're ready. Sliding the legs out. Moving the arms to your side. Finding stillness throughout your body. Feeling your breath. Start to wiggle your fingers and your toes. And then taking a big inhale as you reach your arms above your head. Stretch. Bending your knees so you can roll over to one side. Finding your way up to a comfy seat whenever you're ready. And bringing your hands together. Awesome practice, you guys. Thank you for joining us today. Have a great weekend, and we will see you guys very soon. Namaste. If you enjoy these longer 50-minute practices, make sure to join my membership right here on YouTube. You will get access to a brand new 50-minute practice every single week. So click the link in the description down below, and I will see you on the mat very soon.